Well, hey everybody, it's your lonely trans girl, just out for a ride. And check out this day. It's like mid-January? What is it, the 10th or the 15th or something today? I've lost track of time. It's insane how pretty this is. I'm just at a end of a road that I've never actually been down before. Oh. And that mount's obviously not as sturdy as I had hoped it would be. I did tighten it up, but I should tighten it up a little bit more, I guess. Or find an alternate. I didn't really want to clamp my camera to my handlebars, but I might have to. So I'm just out trying a few things. It's got some things that I did to the bike. I put on these handguards. They're actual bark busters, and they were easy to put on once I started putting them on the right direction. I started putting them on upside down. I was wondering why they didn't work out, but I was putting them on the wrong handlebars because I'm really clever like that. But I did it. And then I also put a set of bar risers on there and a mount for my telephone. And then what else did I change? I got these new gloves from Climb. They're not insulated, but they're waterproof with like a Gore-Tex liner, so I can wear them with my heated glove liners without worrying about getting electrocuted. And I don't have to turn them up as much, so that, like, with my summer gloves, I was turning them up to the point where I was actually burning my hands a little bit because of all the wind flowing through the gloves, where these ones block the wind a lot more. So I think I've only got my kit set to setting 3 out of 7 today, and I don't feel cold yet. But it is a pretty nice day out, so we can't complain too much. Until the summer when everything catches on fire, I guess. And another thing I did was kind of an impulse purchase, but because I know I don't make like quality content, or I don't have a huge following or anything, but I still want to like make it as good as I can possibly can of my low budget style. So I ended up getting a different microphone. I was really not very happy with the mini mic that I had, or mic mini, or whatever they call it. So I ordered the Mic 3, and I'm trying that right now, and I don't have any noise cancellings turned on, so we'll see what that's like, because I kind of like hearing some of the background noise. It feels like you're in a vacuum when you have that all turned on, but with the Mic Mini, like, you couldn't run it without it. The wind noise was terrible. And I don't have any vents open on my helmet today, so maybe that'll make a difference too. But I don't know. The sunshine feels so good. And other than that, I'm just waiting for a skid plate. I might be able to actually come in today. Change my camera because I don't like that mount at all. I have to come up with something else. We're fogging up. Why is everything so hard? Alright, give that a go. Yeah. A couple other little things I did was I got a whole bunch of like Allen key screws for these mounts instead of the big thumb screws that were sticking out, because I don't necessarily have to adjust their angle. And all those thumb screws looked pretty shitty. And yeah, I didn't really like that. Made the whole mount look really bulky. So that was just a little thing. And yeah, also I've been following this guy from Oregon. He rides a TW200, and his channel's called Dirt Cop Dual Sport. And he sent me a bunch of stickers. So I'm gonna, when I get those, I'm gonna outfit Yoshi with some of those. He's got a neat little channel because he lives really close to the woods. So he just takes his TW out there and does like coffee reviews, and he knows a lot of his trees and plants, so he has like interesting plant information. He just has a neat vibe. I like watching his stuff. So I just found him when I was looking at TW200 stuff. And so instead of keeping Masami insured all year round, I'm just making him my summer touring bike. So if I ever actually get some more cash together, what I want to do is make him more like a sport tourer instead of an adventure bike. Because Yoshi's going to be my adventure bike from now on. And when I take Masami out, it's probably going to be more for longer trips or more tarmac-oriented adventures. And then I don't have to worry about dropping it on the dirt and trying to pick it up and just all that shit that runs through my head way too much. I'm like 98% sure I'm not supposed to be on this trail. But I'm going slow. Who's going to complain? I'm going 20 kilometers an hour, guys. I'm sure your bicycle is faster. It is a cool little trail, though. And then, like, as far as trips and stuff, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to get up to this year. I supposedly have my confirmation surgery coming up in the fall. Ish, maybe? So, should get a call for that, but it's like, it's just going to be incredibly expensive to get that done, because I have to fly to Vancouver, I have to fly home, I have to stay in Vancouver for like 3 or 4 days after my surgery, just in case I have a complication. And then I don't have anyone to go with me and help me. It's like a support person, they call it. So I have to actually pay for someone to come in and check on me. So yeah, it's not going to be cheap, and I need to save up for that, because you can't you can't say no too many times or reschedule too many times before they drop you from the programs. And I've waited long enough, honestly. It's been, how long have I been on that list? Like 4 years at least. So yeah, I need to save up for that. But in terms of trips, like, in my mind, I want to do more off-road trips with this bike and see where I can get to, and like see if I can travel off-road. That's kind of my challenge for myself this year, is to do like moto camping with more off-road routes, but still try to get to places that I want to go. Like I want to go to the Kootenays, I want to get to these places, but I want to try and do it through a trail network instead of over on the highways, which I've done lots. And then if I do get a chance for a longer trip, I would still like to take Masami to Atlin and check that place out. So if I can swing it, those are the rough plans. But you know, it doesn't have to be spectacular. I was watching a video on the Bear Creek OHV park, which like people were all choked that they have to pay a user fee and stuff for, but it doesn't seem that big of a deal to me. So and they have campsites there, so I think maybe even, you know, a couple weekends, maybe I'll go up there and spend some time exploring those, because I've never been on the, like, it's a huge trail network and I've never been there, and it's really close to home, so I might as well take advantage of it. That's just the thing I love so much about this bike, is it's just so easy and relaxing. No worries. Fun. Oh, this is just fun. Where when you're on a bike, you can barely put your feet down on the ground. It's not as fun. So I don't know. I know this is like not considered the best bike in the world, but I'm really liking it. It suits me just fine, thanks. It's all the shit that's happened, all the shit that's happening, like, I can't fucking trust anyone. I just can't. I can't fucking do it. I won't let myself do it anymore. Like, so I see things with skeptical, even innocent things by people I shouldn't have those feelings towards. But I've been hurt by so many people that are supposed to love and protect me that how do you see the good in people when all you've ever been shown is the cruelty? So I struggle with that so bad that it's literally isolated me to the point where I have me, my bike, my dog, and my mom. That's my entire life. And it's like, at one end, like, I'm okay with it. Like, I've kind of made this bed and I need to lay in it. Like, I've made my own decisions, like, so I can't say, like, I've done this to myself. But at the end of the day, we are social creatures, and it's difficult to not have any, but like, I don't go on social media, I don't have Facebook, I don't Instagram, I don't TikTok, I don't do any of that shit because it drives my brain insane. I just can't fucking deal with it. So I just don't. Trying to not engage with the world, but it's like, you can't, how can you not? Because all of this stuff is so fucking important. Like they say, like, for evil to succeed, good people just have to do nothing. And I don't want to be that, right? But like, holy fuck, I'm fragile. Right? Like, I don't know. I heard this really scary story the other night, and I won't be able to tell it as good as where I heard it from, but like, I'm going down these scary rabbit holes again, and it's like, it's really fucking me up for camping. But it's like, I was listening to this story of the skinwalker, and it was creepy, man. Like, a guy was, I think he said he was Cree, or had a Cree grandmother or something. But anyway, like, he had indigenous roots, so he had learned a little bit about these beings, and I'm not even entirely sure what they are, but scary as hell. But this guy's story was, he's saying he's only ever seen Skinwalker twice in his life, and not that that's not enough. But the stories he told, he said when he was a child, he had a dog, and the dog got out one day and ran away, and it was missing for like 3 or 4 days. And him and his little brother were super sad, and they missed their dog, and I can't remember what the dog's name was. But like a week later, the dog showed up at their house, and it was sitting on the porch, and it just looked really fucking weird because it's like, he said its eyes were totally blacked over, and it was just sitting there super still. Like, it wasn't really, like, you'd think if your dog just got home, it'd be really happy to see you and stuff, right? And so his mom went out to pet the dog, and it snapped at her hand, and she was like, holy fuck. And so the dad grabbed a baseball bat and chased it out of the house and said, get the fuck out of here, right? And so the dog ran off, and the kids came down the stairs and they saw the dog, and they were like, oh my god, is that our dog? Like, and they're like, his dad's like, that wasn't your dog, man. That was something else. Like, that wasn't your dog. And so I guess just before the dog ran out, it growled the oldest child's name, the guy who was telling this story. And it's like, it was growling, but it came out in a way that you could hear it saying his name. And that's when the dad told it to get the fuck out and got all freaked out, right? And then so anyway, he didn't see the dog again, but he said for years after that, he would have nightmares about the dog coming back and coming into the house and sitting at the foot of his bed and growling his name. And he said it would wake him up and he'd be terrified, and he'd hear his little brother whimpering, and he knew he was having bad dreams about it too. And they both had nightmares about this event forever now, and then they slowly faded away. And I guess he became like a search and rescue type guy. And so way off later, many years later down the road, a hiker went missing. And so he was called in to go and find this guy, and they searched and they couldn't find him, and guy just disappeared, right? And so he gets a call on his radio one day, and they're like, oh, we found him. And he's like, oh shit, right on. So he gets in his truck and he heads out there and bring this guy home, right? And they bring him home, and apparently the guy was just fucking weird. Like they said, he wasn't acting like someone who just got rescued, right? Like he was very, very plain and dull, and like didn't respond to shit, and like it was very strange. And they thought, well, maybe it was probably just shock from being lost in the woods for whatever, a couple weeks or whatever he was gone. So they took him back home, and apparently he was incredibly creepy. Like he would sit in the dark by himself, like he would go into his children's room and stand at the foot of their bed and just stare at them for like it was just really weird shit. And then one day their house caught on fire, and the wife and the two kids died in the fire. And then after they put the fire out, they noticed they all had gunshot wounds to the head as well. So they were murdered and the house was set on fire, and the husband disappeared. And then like a couple of years later, or maybe it wasn't even that long, but a hiker found remains. And it was this dude. It was this dude that went missing. And they brought back to his family, but he was like from the coroners and stuff, like he'd been dead for a long time. Like there's no way that it fits the timeline, right? Like those were his remains, but they were too old and deteriorated for him to have been at his house hanging out with his family. Like it's just fucking creepy as hell, man. And it's like you listen to all these indigenous stories and it's like, man, like, you know, like I know they also had a lot of time without a lot of technology and spending time in the darks telling stories to each other, and I'm sure a lot of it's like embellished, but like also like nobody knows this land and these forests and the things within them and its secrets like the First Nations people. Like they just have such an intimate knowledge of all this stuff, which is why I believe their stories about Sasquatch, and why I'm kind of starting to think these skinwalkers might be a thing too. Like, and it's so scary because I want to go camping and I want to sleep by myself in the woods and I want to go to places that aren't necessarily campgrounds, but I'm scaring the piss out of myself. So I need to stop doing it. But it's like the same thing with learning about the world. It's like you can't unhear these stories. You can't unlearn what you've learned or undiscovered what you've discovered. And like, I don't know, there's some pretty compelling images. And like the footprints are probably the most like legit things. Especially when they have like dermal ridges and shit in them and stuff. Like that'd be really hard to fake, especially out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I don't know, man. I was watching one of the stories about Sasquatch I can't remember what they call him here in the Okanagan, but the Silex people was saying like you can offer them stones, and not just any kind of stone, like it has to have a meaning, like a special meaning to you, and then they tend to leave you alone. And they said the closer you get to the coast, the more aggressive they get. But the ones in the Okanagan are fairly docile as long as you don't fuck with them and you respect the land. Like, so, you know, like in that sense, when I camp, I don't bring garbage, I don't make fire, I don't cut down trees, I don't leave a mess. You know what I mean? Like, so I do treat the land with respect, and if there's a Sasquatch out there watching me, I think they would appreciate that. Like I said, it all sounds kind of silly, but then at the end of the day, like, Indigenous people know what the fuck they're talking about when it's to do with the land, the things living on it, how it all ebbs and flows and binds together. Like, I don't know, I just trust that wisdom they gain from 10,000 years of existing with all these things that live here. Yeah, but it is scary, right? But you can see like the stories I've listened to and the people that seem to have the scariest encounters were the ones that are out. And like, I've got nothing against it, dude. Like, if you like to hunt, like, that's great, because, you know, we need to eat, and I really don't have a problem with people subsistence hunting at all. But I don't think it's for me. But like, that seems to be the people that seem to have the scariest stories are the ones that are out hunting and or logging or mining, like harvesting shit from the land in a disrespectful way, I would imagine, from what I've heard from that documentary from the Silex people. It's like when you take an animal, you offer tobacco and you say thank you and you appreciate it. You apologize to the animal for taking its life. Like, you do it all in a very respectful manner. Whereas I don't think Europeans follow that. like we're just like, I'm gonna take 2 deers today, right? And you know, I'm gonna take 17,000 hectares of trees this month. Like, so, like, I can see why, if they are the stewards of the forest, why our behavior would piss them off. And I would hope I'm behaving in a way that doesn't piss them off. I don't want to piss them off. I don't ever want to fucking see one. Like, even hearing one sounds terrifying. Like, I remember being a kid and riding my bike up this June Springs with a friend of mine, and we just set up a little campfire and started roasting some wieners and shit, and we heard some coyotes howling, and it was the scariest fucking noise I've ever heard, because it honestly sounded like a woman screaming. Like I almost thought that there was someone being attacked up the road, right? Like, it scared the both of us so much. And one of the things I've learned is that Sasquatch can mimic sounds, and one of the sounds they like to mimic a lot is coyotes. And that's scary, because that's a scary sound, and you hear it, like, it's scary enough to think it's a pack of coyotes, like, let alone a couple Sasquatch. So I don't know. I'm honestly thinking, like, when I do go out and camp this year, I am gonna hit pay sites. Like, I know that's not the hardcore way, and I know there's a lot of people that do it better and do it different and are more adventurous and braver. But fuck, man. Like, if something like that happened to me, it would ruin a really good time. I really enjoy getting out in the forest. I really enjoy riding my bike. I really enjoy camping. And I don't have a lot of things in this life that I really enjoy. So to have an experience that takes that away from me would really fucking suck. So I don't necessarily want to tempt fate. And yeah, I know that sounds like really frou-frou-y, but you don't know, right? You never know. You honestly don't know what's out there. So. And it's entirely plausible. Like, there was a lot of humanoids, like, and even modern humans have Neanderthal DNA, so in my mind it's totally possible to have some kind of missing link hybrid. And then, I don't know, and then when it starts getting into the UFOs and portals and orbs and shit, like, that's hard for me to wrap my brain around, honestly, but you never know. Fuck, you just never know, man. Anyway, that's been my defects for the last couple months. I know you missed them. But honestly, I'm hoping this year's lighter. I hope I can find some way forward that's not so heavy. I'm tired of being sad. I'm tired of feeling down. I'm tired of fighting to get out of bed and put one foot in front of the other and get dressed every day. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted and I want to have fun. I don't have a ton of good years left in me. It's just, you know, it's sad to say, but going through a back injury at 50 plus, like, you don't heal like you used to. And, you know, you never know how many more years I can have where I can actually get out and ride a bike and go on trails and set up a tent and sleep on the ground. And I want to enjoy that. I don't want to have to convince myself that I should go and do it. It should be something I want to go and do. But like I said, winter has always been a struggle for me. This year, like, it honestly can't get any better for winter than the winter we're having this year. But it's still cold. Like, I don't know. I'm a heat-oriented kitten. Like, I love 30 degrees plus. Like, when everybody else is complaining it's too hot, like, that's when I'm happiest. So, I don't know. I'm just a piss-poor Canadian. I have the morals and the values. I belong in our, like, tropical department. I need to live for the moment and enjoy it while I can, and worry about it being gone once it's taken away, I guess. So, yeah. On that note, have a good day, y'all. Thanks for listening to the rants of a crazy woman. Talk to you again, hopefully soon. Alright, take care. Bye.